Okay, welcome to some bonus material. We got a special guest on Your Family Band. I'm here with an old dear friend, Mr. Ben Healy. Ben is our private lesson director here at the Brooklyn Music Factory, and he's going to help us dispel this myth about those who can't play teach, right? And we're just going to talk about what makes a great music teacher. He has interviewed dozens, hundreds. I don't even know how many teachers you've hired. You've got tons of friends that teach. You've got tons of friends. We're in New York City. You've got tons of friends that are amazing musicians, but maybe not great teachers. So we just want to help you because you're going to be interviewing some teaching candidates, right? Some people that may end up becoming like really important players in your family's life, right? A music teacher can be a deep relationship. So anyways, question number one, Ben, is there like when you're interviewing a candidate for the Brooklyn Music Factory, is there any, like you look at a resume or you're there in the room interviewing that person, is there a red flag right away that goes up for you when you're like, you know what, I can tell this person is focused on funding their playing career with a little bit of side teaching. They're not really an educator. Is there like any one thing that just red flags right away for you?
Yeah, well, the teachers who usually speak about talent more, when they talk about kids who have it or don't,
yes.
That's a red flag, right? When you can talk to a teacher who's invested in the process and truly believes that everyone can play and that they see that potential in every student, then you know that they're a teacher more than they are a player.
I love that, dude. I've sat in on a ton of interviews with you, and I feel the same way. Like when someone says like, well, my favorite student, and it was someone who could play, he was really into it, right? I'm like, red flag.
Yeah.
Right? Every one of our students are our favorite students,
Yeah.
right? And we've been spending a lot of time just talking about pedagogy, like the difference between someone who really has a method, who really understands like the theory of unpacking a song for a student at the right level, like in the right kind of bite-sized chunks. Can you tell us what you hear in language that a candidate who comes into the Brooklyn Music Factory where you say, oh man, this person is awesome. They're totally an educator. I can tell that they're all about educating. Is there any language that they use that you listen for?
Well, usually we have a question that leads them to tell me about a story about a challenging student.
Yeah.
And if they have a story right away of a moment where they had to improvise a game, come up with a new approach, and that they have multiple ways of teaching the same thing.
Ooh, I love that.
That's a really important quality in a teacher, is just to be willing to attack the same problem from many different angles and understand that there are many different types of learners out there, and you need to address all of them in your practice.
Yeah, that's an awesome point. We were talking too earlier about, the advantages of a private lesson versus a group lesson. And a lot of times, that private lesson can be a perfect choice if your child has a very specific need in terms of maybe it's a learning challenge, or maybe it's not specific to learning, and I love that because what your point speaks to that. Like a great music teacher sees that as an opportunity, not as a hurdle.
Right. Yeah, that's really the key there, is that you as a teacher are always learning from your student. So every challenging student is actually an opportunity student, and they are going to open up new avenues for you, and you're going to get potentially more out of those challenging lessons, for your toolbox.
Yeah. I'm a huge basketball fan, as you know, and that totally reminds me of a quote that I was just reading. I usually go to Hoops for inspiration for me, and someone was talking about guarding LeBron James. and I can't remember who it was.
Get it.
Yeah, but they were saying, I look forward to the challenge every time.
Right.
Because when they have to guard LeBron, they learn something new.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
and so it's like, is your kid the next LeBron? Okay, so let me ask you one closing question, because those are just like golden nuggets of truth. And please, parents, take those into your discovery process, trying to find the perfect teacher for your family, because your family deserves a great teacher, right? I mean, I think that's the thing that we keep coming back to, is that your child is like a gift to a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I use that language all the time. Whenever I talk to parents, actually,
Yeah.
is that relationship is paramount, and that they are a gift to me. I say thank you for letting them be a part of my life.
Yeah. Love it.
I think that it's really that is that we don't want to settle for anything less. That just because you've got somebody who's on the other side of the street.
Yes.
And you got easy access, and the piano's mostly in tune.
Yeah, the piano teacher down the block.
Right. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the best teacher for your kid. Seek out that relationship that motivates them, that brings them joy, and that serves them and the music.
Yeah, I love, that's like a perfect closing point. And I'm trying to come up with a way to capture that. Like, don't choose convenience over like a really potent long-term opportunity, right? Just don't choose convenience, because I feel like, this music, we know, you and I know this because we've known each other for well over half our lives, and we've been making music together for a long time. Music just has the opportunity to bring so much joy to a family, right? So why choose convenience, right?
Yeah, when I think about all the different teachers that I've commuted to see
Yes.
over the years, to be fair, it started, with my teacher who was across the street,
Dig it.
and that was
Okay.
an important foundation. But then I, got the bug, and found the joy, and then followed that, and then I was willing to go anywhere.
Yeah, you traveled from Minnesota to the big city.
That's right.
All right, so thank you, Ben. Ben Healy, director of the private lesson program at the Brooklyn Music Factory.